Guaranteed priority slots. Continuing our streak, as yesterday also I made a video. Today is another video where I'll be discussing the irregular working hours on the sponsor license, and I'll be showing two approvals for the priority slot allocations that we received. So if you are struggling to get priority slots for change of circumstances, usually cost allocations, undefined causes, then you can fill up the form in the description and we can get a priority slot for you. The details of the service are in the link. I'll put it in the description. To begin with, firstly, today's approvals for the priority slot for a cost allocation. The first one came today, 4th of August. I'll put it on the screen at 7:40 a.m. 7:40 a.m. Anyone, you can watch, investigate, all that stuff. In the meanwhile, I will address something information sharing, as I always do when I'm sharing these success screenshots. So this is an important point where sponsors are losing their licenses. It's a quite a sensitive one. The changes happened recently on 8th of April 2026, and I have those changes over here. It is SK 7 skilled worker, SK 7.24. So which is about irregular working hours. The Home Office is going to regularly, or whenever they check it, the PAY records, they expect the salaries to be paid what have been promised. Okay, the standard is they are going to see monthly salaries, and in a block of 12 weeks, that's what they are going to see every 3 months. I know there may be some reduced salary, but they will try to see a 12-week block. Situations where there are irregular working pattern. For example, I was speaking to someone where I think the workers work more hours during the summer and less hours during winter because they work outdoors, I think. So that is what I knew. I don't remember which business it was. Example is such a business where in winters they may be paid less and in summers they may be paid more, or something like that, or any change. So what Home Office position is that firstly, you should report when you assign the costs, any irregular working hours. Let's say, for example, you are a care worker, just taking an example, you work 30 hours, whatever, 25 hours in the week one, but then maybe 35 hours in week two, or something like that. There is some irregular working pattern for whatever reasons. When you assign the cost, it should be confirmed on the cost. And if for workers who were assigned previously, before the changes happened on 8th of April 2026, what Home Office is expecting, our position was that immigration rules always change from the date point forward. So if you assign a cost from that point onwards, yes, you need to mention it. But Home Office position looks like currently whatever the communications were that we are receiving is that they seem to be saying that even a cost which was issued prior to this date, you should make a report through the change of circumstances through the sponsor management system on that particular cost, whatever, even if it had been all the time. Let's say the cost was assigned 1 year back or 2 year back, and since then the worker has been working the same way. This particular reporting was never in question, but just because it has been added to the guidance, Home Office expectation is that you should report the change. That is a very important thing. These things usually, when everything is fine, they don't matter. But anytime things fall off, that's when usually Home Office, usually when they are doing that payroll run check and all, that's where the problems come up. And now I will put the second screenshot of today's second approval that came. I'll continue with the discussion. Today, 4th of August, 8:45 a.m. 8:45 a.m. I'll put the screenshot. Anyone wants to investigate, look at it, etc. I'll continue with my discussion. This is the communication that Home Office has sent. What they said is, if you have not confirmed the irregular working hours prior to this communication that they sent, your workers do not work the same hours each week, irregular hours. You must do so now. So you should report it now, even if it was not never reported, never required to be reported as part of your our request for information. So Home Office has been sending this information request asking for many things. If let's say they ask for last 6 months of payroll records and all, obviously they will find it out that irregular payments to a particular worker or a group of workers, that should be explained, if since that was never required before. But from 8th April onwards, it should be on the cost itself. So if you are sending any additional information, make sure you point this out, whatever irregular working hours are there. If not, then it may lead to revocation. Remember that. If you do not explain whether you consider their work hours to be the same or different each week, then we will determine the working pattern. Then they will try and determine it from the contracts provided, contracts of work the client, whatever they are servicing, and take any compliance action on that basis. So they will determine, okay, let's say the looking at all the client contracts, there was only 25 hours of work required, and that is what has been paid. Whatever it is, they'll try to quantify it in numbers and try to assess it themselves. Never leave it to home office for any assessment. Try to explain that even if that is an irregular working pattern, it was never reported. Please note, if you inform us your workers do not uh, complete regular hours each week, but you have not reported prior to receiving this communication, we will also consider whether you have breached your reporting requirements. So as I always say, report, report, report. Report on every causes, new causes, report it when you assign it, old causes, report it as soon as you see this video. And also, so this is a very important point that Home Office has been considering about irregular working hours. If there are irregular working hours, usually Home Office will take a 17-week cycle. When they are looking at a pay, they will try to see what was paid in 17 weeks. That's what the rules say. Usually they will take a 12-week, which is a 3-month cycle, and see how much the salaries were paid. So they will go from 1 to 3 months and see in a 3-month block how much was paid. But if it's a irregular working hours pattern, they are dividing the year into 3 parts. I think 17 times 351. So 17-week blocks, they will see that whatever was promised has been paid. So this is something that I wanted to cover. And if you need priority slot, or if you need advice on any of these matters, reportings or anything else, you are an employer, employee, HR person, you can book the consultations in the link below. And main thing, the video was about sharing the priority slot approval emails. So I've shared both of them that we received today. If you are struggling to get priority slots, feel free to fill up the form. Link will be in the description and we will take it from there. Usually we will get it within 24 hours. Most of our slots, almost 90-95%, maybe 5% of them within 48 to 74 hours. 72 hours, 40 to 72 hours. Okay, so yes, irregular working pattern, it's a very, very important thing. Employers should take this seriously. Home Office is getting this information from HMRC, asking for information request on many occasions, whether you ask for a cause through in-year annual allocations, or you even allocate a cost and you file a skilled worker visa. Even at that point, they are stalling the application, holding it, and asking the employer further information request. So, and in that, if this comes to light that irregular working pattern has not been reported, then it is a problem. Even if all the salaries are paid perfectly fine, if you round it up, but the reporting is not done, that's where they fail you. And if the reporting is not done, they have a problem. Okay, so the report. As I always say, if you are unsure, report. Home Office will ignore it. So even if these irregular working hours, go in and report through the sponsor management system. And thank you very much for watching this video.